Hello everyone, today we're going to install Windows 7 in VirtualBox. To download VirtualBox, you open your web browser, you click on virtualbox.org, and you're going to end up in this page. From there, you're going to click on this button. This is Download VirtualBox 5.1, and it's going to send you to the Downloads page. And depending on what type of host you are, what type of operating system you're using, you will choose from there. Since we're a Windows host, we're going to go ahead and choose that. After you click this, you are going to run the program, and you are going to end up with VirtualBox. To install your virtual machine, we are going to go ahead and click New. For the name, we are going to name it Windows 7, Win 7. Now, when you click the down arrow that says Type, you're going to see all the type of operating systems that you can use with VirtualBox. There's Microsoft Windows, Linux, Solaris, BSD, IBM, and macOS. We are going to use Microsoft Windows. When you click the version, as you can see, it has versions from 3.1 to Windows 10. We are going to install Windows 7, so depending on what type of version you have, you're going to choose that. So we have a 64-bit version, so we're going to go ahead and click on that. And it's very important that you know what type of version you're using, because if you click Windows 32-bit, then it might not install. And if you click 64-bit and you're using a 32-bit, it's not going to install. So make sure you know what type of version you're using before you click any of this. Now press Next. Now it's going to ask you for the amount of memory you want to use. For a Windows 7 32-bit OS, it's recommended to use 1 gig, and for a 64-bit, it's recommended to use 2 gigs. Now, we are going to go ahead and type in 2048, which is exactly 2 gigs. We're going to go ahead and click Next, and we're going to end up with this page that says Hard Disk. Now, the choices are: do not add a virtual hard disk, create a virtual hard disk now, or use an existing virtual hard disk file. If you used VirtualBox before and you already have a disk file, you can go ahead and click this last option. But since we haven't used, well, for the purposes of this, we don't have a disk file, so we are going to choose Create a Virtual Hard Disk Now. And then we are going to click Create. From here, it shows us all the disk image files. Now, the difference between all these three is basically that VDI is an image file that VirtualBox created. VHD is kind of used by Microsoft, and VMDK is used by many different platforms. We are going to use VDI, so we're going to click Next. And it's going to show up in this page, and it's asking you the storage on physical hard disk. Now, the choices are dynamically allocated and fixed size. Basically, what this means is that dynamically allocated is that as you go along, it's going to take space depending on what you use in this virtual machine. And a fixed size is it has a set storage space, and that cannot be changed after you install and choose this option. We're going to go ahead and click on Dynamically Allocated and click Next. Now here, it's showing the file location and size. For a 32-bit OS, it's recommended to use 16 gigs. For a 64-bit, it's recommended to use a 20. Now 25 gigs, as shown here, is more than enough. So we're going to go ahead and leave it like that and click Create. Now you have created a virtual machine. Now what we need to do is install Windows 7 in this virtual machine. So we're going to go ahead and click on Start, and make sure that at this moment you have your bootable device or your ISO in one of your folders already in. Because when it starts, it's going to ask us to choose where is this ISO. So It's loading. Let's give it 1 second. Okay, there you go. I don't know why it didn't show up, but it shows host drive E. I am using a removable device, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this folder right here. It's going to send us where all our files are, and this is my flash drive, so I'm going to go ahead and click this because this is my ISO. As you can see, I'm going to go ahead and click on that and click start. So a Windows installation approximately takes 30 minutes. It shouldn't take that long. And it's starting. And it's going to ask us a few questions. And language to install, English of course, time and currency, English, keyboard, US. Now we click next. And we click install now. Usually if you have something else to do while the installation is going on, you would of course undo it but come back and install it because it kind of takes 30 minutes and it's not like it asks you questions in between. Right now, we're going to of course try to read it, the license terms, but we are going to go ahead and click I accept. If not, we are not going to be able to install Windows 7. We're going to click next. And right here it asks us what type of installation we want. If you have Windows Pro, Windows, and you're trying to do Enterprise, then you would do Upgrade when it's available. But since we don't have another operating system that was installed in here, we're not going to use Upgrade because there's no newer version to update to. So we're going to go ahead and choose Custom. And right here is going to show us the drive. This is the drive that we created earlier with the 25 gig space. So we're going to go ahead and click Next. And right now, it's just going to take 30 minutes, and it's going to restart several times, as it says. Now, when it restarts, make sure you don't click anything. Although it says press F12 if you have a bootable device, make sure you don't click this because then the installation is going to restart. And you don't want that because then another 30 minutes, you're going to take another 30 minutes to install this. So we're going to go ahead and leave that. And when we come back, it's going to be installed. Now, after it finishes installing, you are going to end up with something like this. Now, you can type whatever you want. I'm going to name my PC my name, Jami. And we're going to click Next. Now, you have to set up a password. Okay, I'm going to set up my password. Retype it. If you want, you can type in a password hint. Mine was pretty easy, so I'll just put it as a hint. And then click Next. Now for this, you can choose whichever one you feel more comfortable with. I'm going to choose recommended settings. And choose a time, which is Eastern. Let me find it. Eastern. I think I just missed it. Right here. And make sure it's correct. And click Next. Now, you can choose whichever one. If you're in a working environment, then you would click Work Network. If you're in a public environment and you don't want anyone to see your private stuff, then you'll click public. Since this is my home network, I'm going to do home network. Okay. It's connecting. And there you go. You've installed Windows 7. Now I'm going to show you your username and password, which is my username, my password, depending on what type of username you chose and your password you are going to sign in. Let's just give it a second. And there you go. Now it already signed in, but let me show you. It's logging off, and there you go. That's the name I chose and my password. And there you go. See your username and password, and you have installed Windows 7. Thank you guys for watching.